Okay, we're at this Jim Duck restaurant in Daegu.
Super excited because I'm a really picky eater, but I love Jim Duck. Oh, in English. Can we get it without bones in it?
Yeah.
Salad chicken. So I'm good with like medium to spicy and definitely cheese if they have it.
Oh, they have napjak mandu. We gotta add that.
Ooh, okay.
You wanted something to drink?
Maybe I should have a Coke Zero to like kill the spice. So the first meal that I ever had in Korea was actually Jim Duck. I have like a photo of me with my Hagwon training roommates, like holding these long ass noodles up, and it was so spicy. All of us, our first time in Korea, none of us knew how to speak Korean at all, can't read Hangul, anything like that. I just remember going into this restaurant and the guy that was working spoke some English and he was like, oh, this is very spicy. Like, and he said it was the challenge chicken. And so we ordered it and it was like the hottest stuff. No, it was Jim Duck, but like it was so spicy. We ate it all though.
How long have you been in Korea now?
I originally came in March of 2013. And I was here for like 4.5 years. I left for 14 months and came back. Total, just maybe about 10 years or a little over that.
Oh,
I know.
Oh, it's been a minute.
It's been a minute. I went back to the States and I just wrote an article about that actually for a US publication called Business Insider. And how I went back to America and was like, this is terrible. And immediately ran back here as fast as I could.
What is better in Korea than?
Honestly, like the cost of living in the US right now is insane. It's just so much more expensive. So in the US, most of the southern states are known for being less expensive. And so I was like, it's gonna be fine. I mean, it was super fun, but it was so expensive. And I still had a ton of student loan debt at the time. You know, Americans borrow money for university. Yeah. So I had student loan debt, I had credit card debt. It was the most expensive apartment I'd ever lived in. And I was just barely getting by. I gained 20 or 30 pounds in a year because my lifestyle completely changed. Eating American food and not being on my feet made a huge difference. You drive everywhere.
Yeah.
And where we lived in the Dallas area, everything is super far apart. So like there is no walking anywhere. You have to drive or you have to take an Uber or a Lyft. And I didn't have a car because I didn't want to buy one and I didn't have the money. I just had to either get these like ride shares or my friend would drive me. It was kind of the worst. Ooh, 감사합니다. 맛있어. I won't eat this one. Picky me. Okay. Not a big fan of the raw cabbage. I went home for the first time in 5 years last January because like obviously the pandemic, and tipping has gotten completely out of control. And I hear that it's worse now than it was when I was home 2 years ago. One of the bad things about living here is that my guard is completely shot. I don't have one anymore. I'm too trusting. Anytime I travel, I have to remind myself, you can't leave your bag out. You know, zip up the bag and all of that stuff. The cost of living here has always been so much better. My work life has been better. I just was so much happier here.
Why did you choose though to live in Daegu instead of Seoul?
I didn't. My first choice was to live in Busan.
Why did you want to live in Busan?
Because it was in the ocean. I wanted to be near the beach. I just have always wanted to live in an area that's close to the ocean. So my first choice was Busan. My second choice was Seoul. And then I said a general metropolitan area. I was raised in suburban areas. So coming to Korea, like I had this opportunity finally to live in a huge city and not have to worry about what it was going to cost me. Like my employer is going to pay for my rent. An academy here chose my profile and offered me a job, and I took it. It ended up being a really good decision though. Up until last year, that was where I worked. I literally had worked at the same Hagwon for a decade. And the reason I actually came back in 2018 was I was just so depressed and super unhappy in the States. Honestly, like I'd gained so much weight. I like hated the job that I had taken because I wanted to write and I had no idea what I was doing and had a panic attack in London and like basically departed in a rush and left my friend in Paris and like came back to the States and was like, I don't know what I'm doing and
How cinematic.
I know, right? It was, my whole life should be a movie.
It's so Emily in Paris.
Yeah. My Hakwan, though, reached out to me. The person that replaced me as head instructor was leaving. It had only been a year. They were like, would you ever consider coming back? So I came back and here I am. And then the pandemic hit and I was like, maybe I should stay where there's like, you know, first world healthcare.
Yeah, for sure.
I am gonna lean into my writing. I got published this year with the New York Times. They put my story on the front page, which was like, I'll never top that. Oh my God. Oh, this looks so good. Okay. For me. Oh my God.
Do you like Snapchat mandu?
I like that, yes.
감사합니다.
I don't know, I just know that it's mandu. 잘 먹겠습니다. Okay. Oh my God. I'm so excited.
That's going in.
So excited. Shut up with this cheese.
Do you think living in Korea gives you a little freedom to do like what you want for work?
I mean, it's less expensive for me to live here than it would be to live in the States, but I do a lot of freelance journalistic stuff. So Business Insider, New York Times. I had something published with Fast Company a few weeks ago. All right, here we go. Oh my God.
It's so good.
It's so good.
Did you know that people say that Daegu food is not good?
Why?
I don't know, but I like it.
I do too. Like, what's wrong with the food here? Like, how is Jimdak in Daegu worse than Jimdak in Seoul? Oh my God. I'm so excited. I'm so glad you asked me to do this today.
That's one thing I like about Daegu is that it's one downtown.
Yeah.
So it's
like one central location.
You go out or something, you know where to go. You
Yep.
want to go shopping, you know where to go. Everything's in the one place, which makes it really, really easy.
My hand always gets so like sore after I eat with chopsticks because I just so rarely use them. Like, I don't use them at home unless I'm eating ramen, which I don't do very often. Literally once in a blue moon, I'll buy like a single package. You just have to kind of be in the mood for it, you know? I really like the jjajangmyeon one, but I put hot sauce in it because
Really?
Oh yeah.
You cook Korean food at home ever?
No. I've never actually even tried to cook Korean food.
Really?
Here's the thing. So I have already told you, like, I'm a super picky eater. I was so much worse when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I've come a long way, folks. Come a long way.
You say it in Korean, pyeonshik.
Pyeonshik?
Pyeonshik.
Shik. Pyeonshik.
Shik like shiksa. Pyeonshik means
Pyeonshik.
that you're picky.
Ah,
Picky about
picky about food, yeah. pyeonshik이세요. 많이.
You guys are kind of living like American style.
Whoa, we totally
But
are.
it-
Well, it's like, it's just easier to go to cook what you know.
Are you considered digital nomad?
I suppose you could call me that. Like, I still have an E2 teaching visa here because I still have a teaching job. I have a really great work schedule right now, and that's why I've kept it for the year instead of like the 3 months I originally agreed to, because I was just going to switch back to a D10. In 6 months from now, I will be an official digital nomad because I won't have a teaching visa anymore. When they came out with this digital nomad visa, like in the last year, I was super excited about it because I was like, oh my God, this is finally like something that I need. The way that the Korean government designed the digital nomad visa, or workation or whatever they're calling it, is stupid. They do not understand what a digital nomad is. They want you to make 60,000 US dollars a year, which is more than the average Korean makes a year. You have to prove that income, which is not uncommon. I've done a lot of research for digital nomad visas, but the fact that it's so much higher than the average Korean salary is what is kind of bizarre to me. The real kicker, though, is that they want you to be employed and working remotely for another company. So you can't technically be self-employed.
But digital nomads are typically self-employed.
Exactly.
For multiple different.
Precisely. I have an LLC. I have an actual company that's established in the United States. So maybe I could get away with that. I'm not making enough money right now, and nor have I, because I've only ever done my writing work part-time.
Yeah.
The whole concept of what they're doing is just ridiculous. I really want to try and interview somebody from the government that's like responsible for that. Even if you wanted to live here, most Western countries, you can come on a 90-day tourist visa, find an Airbnb, get here, boots on the ground, find a place to live, and then you just have to leave every 90 days. It could be super expensive, but some of the rent in Seoul is also super expensive. Yeah. Oh my God, this is so good. My second year here, Lunar New Year for Sonam, I went with 2 Korean friends to Gyeongju, and it was my first time there. My Korean best friend forever. She loves to feed me stuff that I don't want to eat. So we ate at this restaurant. They had like little fermented crabs that were like the size of a 500 won coin. I have a photo of me like with it in my chopsticks going like, I did not like that. I did not like that at all. That the shell and everything was crunching in my mouth. What's soft? There was nothing soft about
Soft
this.
is the fact that you can digest it.
It was not soft. There was definitely some crunch. I had one and done. Everyone thinks it's cute when I try to speak Korean. 저는 영어 선생님입니다. I really love to yell at my students when they're leaving. On Fridays, I'll just yell at them, 주말 잘 보내세요. Like, 주말 잘 보내세요. The more I say it, the worse it gets.
What did he say?
주말 잘 보내세요. Teacher, that's not how you say. 잘 먹겠습니다. Thank you so much for bringing me here.
No problem.
This was so good. All gone. So delicious. 맛있어. 구독, 좋아요.
Bye, Chrissy.
Bye.